it going, everyone? You got your boy Corey here, aka Crasher, bring you guys a new and exciting video, and ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you guys back to the next installment of our Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive guides, and in this video, we are going to be talking about how you can use Eternatus in a competitive battle. So, without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and let's begin. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoy these sort of videos, and subscribe for future videos like these ones. Let's get to it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so taking a look at Eternatus, we're going to be taking a look at its basic information, such as its typing. As you can see right here, it's Poison and Dragon, and it's quite the unique typing, ladies and gentlemen. You have a 4 times resistance to the likes of Grass, and you also resist the likes of Bug, Electric, Fighting, Fire, Poison, and Water, which are all really nice resistances. However, do bear in mind, you suffer from 4 weaknesses, that being to the likes of Dragon, Ground, Ice, and Psychic, all of which are pretty common in terms of offensive types. And then, ladies and gentlemen, taking a look at its abilities, well, it only has access to 1, that being Pressure, and if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I am a little bit disappointed that Eternatus didn't get its own exclusive ability, but that's not to say that Pressure is a bad ability, because it's actually quite decent. What this does is it ends up doubling the consumption of your opponent's power points, which can be really annoying, especially if you're aiming to stall out your opponent's moveset. And then last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, taking a look at its stats. Oh man, this Pokemon has amazing stats. We take a look at the following. We have base 140 in its HP, 85 on the attack, 95 in both the defense and special defense, 145 on the special attack, and 130 on the speed. And I just gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, you know, that stat distribution has got to be one of the best kinds of stat distributions I have ever seen, okay? Like, this Pokemon is meant to be an insanely fast special attacker, but it's got a lot of bulk behind it. Like, that's just ridiculous, okay? Its most prominent stat is its base 145 special attack, so clearly this Pokemon is meant to deliver the pain and deliver it hard. But its second most prominent stat happens to lie in its base 140 HP, which means that naturally, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be very bulky, especially for attacking standards. That is amazing. And with its base 130 speed, damn, son, that Pokemon is going to be pretty damn fast in battle, I must say. Definitely awesome. Now, before we get on to how you can use Eternatus from a competitive standpoint, I got something I gotta show you that's gonna blow your mind. For real, guys. Okay, so what we have going on here, ladies and gentlemen, is Dynamax Eternatus. And if you guys don't know what this Pokemon looks like, check it out on the screen. It looks like some sort of gigantic spacecraft with a giant grappling hook. You know what I'm saying? It's just absolutely crazy. Now, let's just take a look at its stats here real quick. So, it's got 255 on the HP, 115 on the attack, 250 in both the defense and special defense, 125 on the special attack, and 130 on the speed. Holy shit. Now, I know this isn't something that us competitive battlers have to worry about per se, but this right here, just imagine if this thing was unleashed. Imagine if this thing was running rampant in the competitive scene. Guarantee you that thing would be quick banned within the day. That would just be insane. So, ladies and gentlemen, with all that being said and out of the way, let's move on now to Pokemon Showdown, where we can discuss some set ideas for Eternatus. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so what we have here for the first set is going to be an all-out offensive set with Eternatus, and the item of choice is going to be Choice Specs. What Choice Specs does is it boosts your special attack by 50%. However, you are locked into the first move you select until you switch out, but given the fact that this Pokemon is meant to be a nuke, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem for it to be locked into one move anyways, as it will be dealing stellar damage to the opponent one way or another. As for the ability, well, its only ability that it has access to is Pressure, which again is not a bad ability by itself. And then taking a look at its moveset, the first move that we're going to be utilizing, ladies and gentlemen, is its signature move known as Dynamax Cannon, which is a base 100 power special dragon type move. And this Pokemon, okay, I gotta say, this Pokemon and this move right here goes together like peanut butter and jelly, because it is a very high base power move. And also, ladies and gentlemen, it has the ability to deal double damage against Pokemon that are Dynamax or Gigantamax, so this will definitely put a lot of pressure on your opponents and make them think twice before hitting the Dynamax button and essentially getting blown up by a Choice Specs boosted Dynamax Cannon. Ouch! That is crazy. So next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves Sludge Bomb, which is a really respectable base 90 special type poison move with a 30% chance to poison the target, which is relatively nice as well. And then, ladies and gentlemen, this right here, I am so glad it has access to a fire type move like Flamethrower, because you would otherwise be walled out by steel type Pokemon that would try and switch in. But with Flamethrower being a base 90 power fire type move with a 10% chance to burn and choice specs boosted, steel type Pokemon are going to think twice before switching in. And last but not least, guys, we have ourselves Shadow Ball here, which is a respectable base 80 power ghost type special move with a 20% chance to lower the target's special defense by 1 stage. And not to mention also, it does give you something to fight back against your psychic type weakness should psychic type Pokemon try and switch in and take you out. And last but not least, guys, we're going to be taking a look at its EV spread and nature. Now, we are going to be going all out offensive here with 2v2 EVs in the special attack and 2v2 EVs into the speed with 4 into special defense. And we are going to be utilizing a timid nature, ladies and gentlemen, because we want to have as much natural speed as possible because of the fact that we're running Choice Specs here and not Choice Scarf. If you're running something like Choice Scarf here, then I would recommend something like a modest nature, and you can easily switch up to Choice Scarf, which is going to boost your speed by 50% but lock you into 1 attack, rather than utilizing something like Choice Specs, which will boost your special attack but lock you into 1 move as well. But my personal recommendation, ladies and gentlemen, would be a timid nature with, of course, Choice Specs, because you want to have that extra power up in this, you know what I'm saying? So next up, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be taking a similar approach here, but we have ourselves some shenanigans involved here. So, as for the item of choice, we are going to be utilizing a Life Orb here, which is going to boost the damage of your attacks by 30%. However, you will lose 10% of your health, and once again, the ability Pressure is going to be the only ability that we're going to be utilizing. Now, as for the first attack, we have to have Dynamax Cannon, as it is an absolute must, especially if you're facing off against Dynamax/Gigantamax Pokemon, plus not to mention also the Dragon Stab that Eternatus is going to possess is definitely going to be a good one, and you want to have Dragon Stab over Poison Stab, at least in my opinion. And next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves Flamethrower as a way to deal with Steel-type switch-ins that would otherwise give this set problems. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have Recover. Yes, this Pokemon has access to Recover. What? Are you kidding me? So, what Recover does is it heals the user's HP by 50%, which is absolutely ridiculous, okay? And last but not least, guys, we're going to be going with Substitute here, which is going to take 25% of your maximum HP and make a copy of you, hence why it's called Substitute. It's going to make a substitute for you, so it will take damage, and yeah, that is just absolutely amazing. So just imagine this, alright? Imagine the perks of having access to Pressure, which doubles the power point consumption of your opponents whenever they attack, and you sub-recover Pressure stall them. That is going to be absolutely crazy. Now, as for the EV spread, once again, such as the last set here, we're going to be going all offensive with 2v2 EVs into the special attack and 2v2 into the speed, but we're going to be putting 4 into the defense, and it's going to be, once again, a timid nature because you want to have as much natural speed as possible. However, I do want to make a note here, ladies and gentlemen, that if you don't like the idea of utilizing Substitute here and you want to be a little bit more of a setup sweeper here, then you can very easily go for something like Agility here, which will boost your speed by 2 stages, and you can go for something like a Modest Nature here, which will boost your special attack up by a little bit. This option here is more or less meant for you to be able to set up somewhat as a late game sweeper and just throw down powerful attacks, and whenever you get whittled down by Life Orb recoil or attacks in general, then you can simply recover that damage off. So, next up here, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a rather interesting set to go over. We have ourselves a more defensive and annoying approach when it comes to the use of Eternatus. Like, what the hell? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so what it is we got going on for the item of choice is going to be Black Sludge, which is a poison type only version of Leftovers. And that's just absolutely crazy. Once again, we're going to be going with Pressure as its only ability of choice. But then, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at the first move of choice. It gets Cosmic Power, which raises the user's defense and special defense by 1 stage each. And, oh my god, given the fact this Pokemon has a lot of good natural bulk, once you get off a couple of Cosmic Power boosts, you are going to be ridiculously tough to take down. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be utilizing Toxic, which badly poisons the target, and if you're a Poison-type Pokemon, Toxic can't miss. That is just going to be absolutely nice. So, the only offensive move that we have here is going to be Flamethrower to make sure that you're not completely walled out by Steel-type Pokemon. Now, I will say that Pokemon like Heatran would be able to completely wall this set. But wait a second, Heatran ain't even in Sword and Shield, baby! Woo! So that means that Eternatus really has nothing to worry about. And last but not least, we have ourselves Recover, because you gotta have that obligatory recovery move, you know what I'm saying? And then last but not least, guys, taking a look at its stats and the nature, we are going to be utilizing a timid nature here, and here is why. We are going to be maxing out its HP at 2v2 EVs, and then maxing out the, well, nearly maxing out the defense with 240 EVs, and then we have ourselves 16 EVs into the speed. Now, take a note, especially, ladies and gentlemen, at the stat numbers. We have 330 speed, so that way you will always have that little jump against fully invested Pokemon that have base 100 speed as their speed stats. So that means that Pokemon like Mew, as an example, would always be outsped by Eternatus with a spread like this. And then just taking a look at that beautiful 484 HP and 286 defense. And after a couple of Cosmic Power boosts, ladies and gentlemen, oh my god, you are going to be absolutely hard to take down, which is just going to be absolutely nice. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so next up here, I'd like to point out some notable moves that Eternatus has access to. The first 2 moves are known as Light Screen and Reflect. Now, as for Light Screen, it is going to reduce special attacks by half, and Reflect will do the same thing, but for physical attacks, and both of which are going to last for 5 turns or 8 turns if you are holding Light Clay, which is something to keep in mind. Next up here, we have ourselves Toxic Spikes here, which means that whenever your opponent switches in and they are grounded, they will be poisoned with 1 layer, or with 2 layers, they will be badly poisoned. Now, do watch out, as if Poison-type Pokemon were to switch in, the Toxic Spikes would, in fact, be absorbed. And last but not least, for this particular section, we have ourselves Dragon Dance, which is going to raise the user's attack and speed by 1 stage. But here's the thing, is that it doesn't exactly have the best attacking stat with only base 85. And I mean, come on. With base 145 special attack, how the hell can you pass something like that up? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a damn shame that it has access to Dragon Dance, but it doesn't really have access to the attack stat to make good use of it. And not to mention also, its physical move pool absolutely blows chunks, in my opinion. Now, some other moves to make note of, ladies and gentlemen, is that it does have access to Dragon Tail, and while it is a physical move, it forces the opponent to switch out. So this right here actually could be really nice paired with something like Toxic Spikes or on some sort of stalling set if you really want. Like, as an example, if we were to go back to utilizing this set right here, what you could do, ladies and gentlemen, is you could replace Toxic with something like Dragon Tail here, and this right here will definitely make the opponents think twice before setting up on you, and effectively, of course, being swapped out forcefully by Dragon Tail, essentially making their efforts to set up against you null and void. But that is something to also consider as well for a set like this one, taking a more defensive approach. So next up here, we have ourselves Flash Cannon, which is a really nice base 80 steel type move with a 10% chance to lower the target's special defense by 1 stage. And last but not least, I gotta point out the fact that it does get access to Solar Beam, which is a really interesting grass type move with base 120 power. And the thing is that as long as Sun is active, you don't have to worry about spending a whole turn charging. If you happen to be running a Sun team here and you want to be extra crazy and extra gimmicky, then go ahead and run Solar Beam, but my recommendation would be I would advise against it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that right there is going to be a wrap-up here for this video on how to use Eternatus. I certainly hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, show some of that love by smashing the like button, smashing the sub button, because we're going to be doing a lot of competitive guides and how-to videos. So, also, don't forget to smash it up in the comments down below, because I love hearing from you guys, man. I want to hear you guys out. Show me some suggestions that you have for Pokemon that you would use in a competitive scene, and just maybe, ladies and gentlemen, I might take those sets into consideration for future competitive guides when it comes to those specific Pokemon. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourself a wonderful day or night, depending on your time zone, and I'll see you guys in the next one.